Hey guys, Zach here, and there's going to be a quick video on how to forgive someone fully and turn around your hate towards someone to absolute gratitude for them. And this is a big step for a lot of people because so many clients have come to me in the past saying, "Do you know what, this person hurts me, I hate that person, this person always does these things to me, they said this, they said I'm stupid, they said all these things." And the realization that I get from all those things, whether it's an ex-boyfriend, an ex-girlfriend, whatever it is, you got to understand where they're coming from and get out of your body and look down from the bird's eye view, because so many people are stuck in the picture and they've got so many patterns from that relationship that all of a sudden if they say something they trigger off and I'm feeling this emotion. And why I want to make this video is because I had a session with a lovely client today and she was still crippled by the ex-boyfriend. She was still crippled by the ex-boyfriend because she was still emotionally charged and she never forgave him for what she had. Anger towards him, frustration, resentment. How could he do this? Have you ever felt that way towards someone maybe? And the reason you feel that way is because you haven't dealt with it yet. You're holding in all this emotion inside and you're not letting it go. So if you want to let it go and you want to get over this person, or you want to stop reacting and letting this person have control over you, you've got to realize one thing: no one can do anything to you emotionally without your permission. It's your permission. You're choosing to feel an emotional response. And you've got to realize right now, if you want to overcome that, you've got to come from a different place. And you've got to let out all the emotion that you feel inside your mind. There's a process that I do. It's called I blame you. It's called an I blame you pattern. And all of a sudden, I get them to close their eyes and see that person that they feel hatred towards, because your mind can't tell the difference between what you're imagining or what you're experiencing. And sometimes when people get in fights, you don't really get to express yourself fully. And sometimes people don't feel like they can express themselves. So you get themselves into a comfortable position, you close their eyes, go back to a time where you had that fight. Whatever that fight was, go back, feel like they're in front of you again, like you're back at that time. And all of a sudden you speak out loud all the things you blame them for. I blame you for hurting me. I blame you for doing this to me. And then they get emotional, they start crying, they get angry, they feel depressed, they feel excited, they laugh, and then they go through all these different emotions. And do you know what's happening? Their stomach floor is releasing all the bullshit that they're holding on to. All the bullshit, and they're associating in their nervous system, looking at right now, I'm looking at that person and I'm letting out. I'm looking at that person and I'm letting out all the emotion I have towards that person. So it's no longer reacting to it, now I'm proactive to it. So that's the first part of the process. The second part of the process is what you do is you need to forgive them. And that's a big step for a lot of people. And I love when people come to me and they're feeling angry towards someone. I'm like, cool, let's forgive them now. And they're like, what? And they're shocked. They think I'm going to be really talking about the problem. I'm talking about they shouldn't be angry, where the reality is you've got to start forgiving. Because when we look and get some perspective on things, look at someone like Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela was locked up for 27 years, got his freedom taken from him. He didn't have a choice with that. But what happened? All of a sudden he comes out and you know what? He forgives everyone that put him there. He forgives and unconditionally loves them all. That's a spiritual master. And when you put some perspective on that, imagine yourself getting locked away for 27 years and you're crying about this little thing that's going on in your life, about this person, where you can really look above the whole situation, have the awareness to realize, do you know what? Their intention isn't to hurt you. No one's intention is to hurt you. That's the truth. No one has an intention to hurt you. They're frustrated as much as you are. And when you realize that, you can look above it and say, do you know what? I'm going to forgive this person. Because as soon as I forgive them, it allows them to give it back to me. It allows them to forgive me as well. But if you're waiting for them to do something, you're waiting for them to message you, they're waiting them to call you and say sorry. Well, they're not going to. You got to say sorry and forgive them so you forgive yourself. And I got this person to let out all the emotion that they felt, the frustration, the anger. And then I got them to say all the positive and beautiful memories that they have with that person. And say, I blame you for having an unbelievable relationship. I blame you for that time when we were younger, or I blame you for that time where we went on that beach and we're just walking on that beach. And all of a sudden they associate to the good times. And then when you associate to the good times, guess what? It lets go of all that emotion. It lets go of the reacting feeling that you may be feeling towards that person. This is the most powerful process that you can use if you can't forgive someone. And then all of a sudden you cut the cord between that person, and all of a sudden the influence that person has no longer there. And then all of a sudden she called me after saying I had a conversation after all this anger happened. She couldn't talk to the person, and then she talked to the person. All of a sudden, you know what? She said sorry. And then he said sorry. Isn't it funny when all of a sudden we get out of ourselves and we step out of our comfort zone, all of a sudden our life can change like that. If you want your life to change, all you got to do is do the thing you're afraid to do. Talk to the person you're scared of talking to, that you keep putting off. Maybe you haven't talked to someone for 6 months because you didn't end up on good terms after 6 months. What would it take for you to give them a call? What would it take for you to give them a call and get out of yourself? And maybe they'll react to you, but all of a sudden stay there and say, do you know what? I forgive you. Whatever it is, maybe you've been cheated on. Maybe someone's hurt you. Whatever it is, forgive that person so you can forgive yourself. And as soon as you do that, your life will feel abundant. Your life will be connected. And I can promise you that. This is the one thing I see with so many people holding on all this aggression, this anger towards people, and all they've got to do is let go. And it's so easy. All it takes is 30 minutes to an hour, and all of a sudden you're free for life. And all of a sudden, this lady had a huge breakthrough. All of a sudden she has that connection now, and then she has choice now. If the person says something, now I have awareness. I understand why he's doing that while he's communicating. Like, instead of reacting, being in the picture, you can't say that. That's what most people do. So if you want to live a phenomenal life, let go of all the anger or resentment you have towards someone, and you'll be so much happier and freer along the way. So have a phenomenal day, and be yourself. Boom!